started, they've endured one or two storms. I truly believe that 49 of them are not going to do one of these three things. They're not going to work hard enough. They genuinely think, and this is the problem, it's all ignorance. It's not intentional. They think that they're working hard enough, but they're actually not. Okay? If they did a true time audit of what they were doing, they do quick grocery runs in the middle of the day. They play a little bit of video games late at night whenever their wife goes down or their girlfriend falls asleep, or when Thursday night they go out and then Friday night they have to sleep in because they're a little bit hungover, and so that bleeds into their day. Whenever their friends, their business friends or their successful friends say, hey, we're going out to dinner, they don't want to spend the money to go out to dinner with those people, so they're just kind of thinking like, whatever, I'll just skip that. They're not working hard enough. They don't know it. Number two is they're not investing enough, which actually kind of goes back to that example I just gave about the friends going out to dinner. They're not investing in themselves. They're not investing in their business. They are just basically like, I'm too afraid to truly give to this, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be a ton, guys. I had $0 whenever I started investing in myself and in my business. It just progresses. All you have to do is win the competition with the people at your current level. Then you move on to the next, and then beat those people and move on to the next. So it's all comparative. It's like you don't have to compare yourself to the person investing $1 million into freaking Airbnb. You know what I mean? Invest in yourself. Invest in your business. Simple stuff like a camera, a computer. And then the third thing is they're not willing to suffer enough. They make emotional decisions when things go bad. They lose a client, or they hit that first wall, and they feel like, I don't know what to do. I need to stop, or I need to slow down. And there's this quote from some entrepreneur. I don't know who it is, but they say a great entrepreneur is somebody who can move on emotionally unwavered when affliction comes. A great entrepreneur can move on emotionally unwavered when affliction comes. Okay? That is those three things. They don't work hard enough, they don't invest in themselves enough or their business enough, and they can't suffer enough. And by suffer doesn't even have to be that crazy of a thing. They just can't have like a bad day. They flail whenever they have a bad day. That will weed out the other 49. And that leaves us with literally, I'm not even kidding, guys. This isn't like a proven statistic. This is just what I've noticed. And if I'm being like super honest, I bet it's less than 1 out of 250 people is truly in the game. They are truly in the game and they're trying to make it happen. Okay? That is competition. Now, I want to do one more exercise. Let's say we've come to the conclusion. First, I want you to think about how many views this video has. Divided by 250, that's how many people are actually in the game. That's your competition. If it gets 8,000 views, that's 32 people. There's 32 people watching this video that are truly in the game. Like actually in it. So take heart, acknowledge each other. Shout out to the other 31, you know what I mean? But this is what I want to talk about real quick. If you truly think about how much money is in the world, we live in a world that favors people who create things, not consumers. So here's an exercise. You guys know I love my gardener creators. Theoretically, I did some research. There's around 50,000 gardener creators. Creators talking about carrots, pumpkins, all that stuff. Okay? 50,000. Oh my gosh, that's so much competition. Oh my gosh. If we talk about the principle that maybe 1 out of 250 are truly in the game, I truly think it's less. I think it's 1 out of 1,000. But if let's say 1 out of 250 is truly in the game. That leaves us to only 200 gardener creators that have pushed through. They're not going to quit. They've bought in, like they are in it. They're investing in their business. They're investing in themselves. They paid for the coaching. They paid for the course. They're working hard. They're after it. All right. They're posting every day, no days off. They're literally treating this like they're Kobe Bryant. Okay, 200. That's it. Now you're like, oh, that's still so much competition. This is where shit gets crazy, guys. The money that is in the gardening creator economy is around $500 million. That divided by 200 creators is about $2.5 million for each creator. This is why there's no competition. Because The world favors people who create things and it punishes consumers. So there's so much money for this small group of people who truly add value to their niche. So freaking get after it. I'm going to drop in the comments, in the caption, some more principles that I've learned about this, but just take the jump. Risk is not real. Competition is not real for the few. If you are a really big creator, I'm talking like 7 figures a month and you're like in the top 5 to 10 in your niche, you probably already have a head of content or this creative director, whatever you call this person, creative strategist. And if you don't, you definitely need them. But I'm going to break down 3 like key attributes that this creative director needs to have in order to truly scale your content team and help you kind of transcend and become that number 1 spot in your niche. Number 1, they need to have macro strategy. What I mean by this is basically 2 things. Do they understand distribution? Okay, this is like clippers, podcast tours, volume, like just kind of how to distribute your content. Can they, if you go to an event, do they understand how to get hundreds of pieces of content on a 2-day trip? There's a bunch of different things like that, okay? Number 2 is, do they understand growth tactics? This is like the monthly trend of like how you're gonna like grow your account. It's like understanding how to use ManyChat and setting up a close friends ManyChat automation and then doing a Q&A that then leads to your lead magnet, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. How do we clip a automated YouTube video into shorts and then post them and connect them back to the YouTube video to get that cyclical growth? This is what I mean by growth tactics. Okay, so they have to have macro strategy, distribution, and growth tactics. There's also branding in there, which I'm not going to get into, but you also have to have branding and overall funnel optimization. Okay, that's time for a different video. Number 2 is they have to have micro strategy. Okay, whenever I say micro strategy, I'm literally talking about like the art of understanding the algorithm in human psychology. I was just on a call with a creative director of one of the biggest personal brands there is, and one thing he mentioned is he feels like he's further away from the algorithm because he's a team leader, which is great. Like that is not a bad thing at all. But ideally you have someone who can stay closer to the algorithm, like literally editing, like getting into the edits, maybe not editing entirely, maybe not scripting entirely, but finding that like niche vocabulary, analyzing the data, like feeling data move and go based off of what you're posting. They have to understand MicroStrategy. This is the hooks, the edits, all of this stuff, A/B testing, etc. And then the third thing, and this one is probably obvious, but it can just be so overlooked sometimes, is they have to be an operator and a team builder. And it's